he said comment on the role of social media in affecting people's iman, and the effects of social media in affecting people's iman. And social media is like many other things before it, connected to the internet. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. And for a person who is weak, the bad very easily is more readily abundant than the good. And it reminds me of the statement of the Shaykh Muqbil rahimahullah ta'ala, a famous statement of the Shaykh, when he said, هذه الدشوش, these satellite dishes people have on the television and videotapes and so on and so forth, they are included in the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith, مثل الجليس الصالح وجليس السوء, the likeness of a good associate, a good person to sit with and a bad person to sit with. They are evil associates. They are evil associates. At least if a person was sitting around a foul person, they could have a two-way conversation. The television and the internet and so on and so forth, it becomes usually a one-sided thing. It usually becomes a one-sided thing. And a person goes into a rabbit hole that the very least harm of which is the wastage of time, that they are wasting their time. And a person, they go for one intention, and they get onto social media and they spend time that they could be spending reading the book of Allah, Tabarak wa Ta'ala, spending time with their family, spending time with their wife and their children, these sorts of things. And he's spending time in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making imaratul masajid, filling the masajid with life. And instead of doing that, you find them glued to the device, glued, like a test rat, looking at flickering images on the screen or something of the sort. And their mind is affixed, their attention is frozen, and they go into a zombie-like trance. And a person can spend an hour, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 a day looking at Instagram and looking at people doing pranks and looking at people telling jokes while lying and people telling obscene jokes and listening to music and all the other sorts of things that a person sees or may see on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and whatever else is out there. And there's probably a new platform every few weeks. And so these things, they exist, and a person must use them with diligence. And a person who is weak, they should avoid them entirely. And if you find yourself on social media and you restrict yourself to something like Twitter, and where you can follow good accounts, they have now the following, and they have For You since the new guy took over, right? So you have two things. Go to the ones that you're following, because then they'll have the other one that says For You, and they'll just give you whatever they want you to look at, right? As they say, when something is free, right? When somebody gives you something for free, especially a piece of technology, that you are the commodity. And your attention is the commodity. And so they're going to sell you whatever they're trying to sell you and point you in whatever direction they're going to point you in. So follow beneficial accounts, and even in doing that, restrict the amount of time that you spend on a daily basis on your phones and those sorts of things. And Allah knows best. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.